Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and this is a request from phantasmatt, actually, which nice guy that chatted through from time to time. Nice on the Dead Pit Discord, on Dead Pit streams and such. And I'm a bit scared because he sent this request in, and he's talked about it. And him and Stuntman Mark built this up, and the way they built this up, I'm kind of scared for my life because the picture is weird, but what I'm getting myself into, and I think I can show the footage because I looked it up. A lot of people have shown this, so I'll okay. He wanted my reaction to this, so we'll do that and see how it goes. But for anyone that wants to request any type of videos, movie review, re-review, reaction, commentary, random thoughts, streams, video game playthrough for an hour, or full playthrough, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it. PayPal's the best way to do it. Do have a Cash App. Links are down below, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. It's 27 minutes long and 16 seconds, so it's by Nick Crowley. Thank guys, tell me to get a 1-year supply of vitamin D3s, because I might need it after watching this. In April of 2024, a Reddit user stumbled across a series of bizarre Instagram accounts claiming to be run by children. However, the content they posted implied that something far more disturbing was happening behind the scenes. This is the prey rabbit hole of smartschoolboy9, an enduring internet mystery. Great, flashing lights, so it'll kill me. The following video contains scenes that may be upsetting and oh, great. They gotta do.
Creepy accounts pretending to be kids. I came across a reel randomly, and it's led me down this weird rabbit hole of people using AI or dressing up pretending to go to school. They all seem to have high heels, check images.
Dressing up pretending to go to school? I don't want to go to school to begin with, but you pretend to go to school?
Anything helps as I keep trying to look for answers. This post was made to the subreddit r/Instagram by the user numerouscut719 on April 15th, 2024. It featured screenshots of 3 bizarre-looking Instagram pages they had encountered earlier that day, with OP expressing concern that something truly disturbing was happening with these users. And those in the thread agreed. What the actual fuck? Found all of them and blocked them all. Truthsticks11 is seriously creepy to me. I've been trying to find more about them, but can hardly find anything. Very weird account to say the least. The 3 accounts apparently belong to 3 different children. However, when combing through their posts, the content seems to imply something much more bizarre was afoot. Something truly disturbing. This post would be the start of a story that would eventually be picked up and shared all across the online world, becoming one of the more notorious internet mysteries.
Apparently I'm out of the loop because I don't know anything about this.
An unending rabbit hole that is still being traversed to this very day. In an ongoing investigation into one of the most depraved oddities ever found on
fucking
Instagram.
Leatherface?
This is the emerging story of smartschoolboy9.
Stupid fucking name. Can't be that goddamn smart. And you're number 9. What happened to the other 8? Shut up.
We'll return after these messages.
Great. We'll return.
Before we get too far down this rabbit hole, I want to first thank today's sponsor, AG1. AG1
oh, thank God,
is a
sponsored.
foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health.
In case you watch this disturbing shit and you shit your pants and you need to resupply your vitamins, come get this vitamin stuff.
And I've realized just how important it is to get the proper amount of your daily nutrients. But the problem is, the older I get, the busier I've become.
It's just,
and the less time I have,
hey, you know this really weird thing about these people that's really sick and fucked up? Make sure you get your vitamins and your nutrients.
But AG1 has been a game changer.
Make sure you drink this while you watch this fucking video.
Not only is it healthy, but it gives me a boost.
So when you puke,
doesn't lead to a crash a few hours
you puke a different color.
It makes me feel better and healthier. and overall it's been great for my production, as it's helped me lock in right at the beginning of the day, and it's even
I'll
helping me
take
cut
this
back
for my
on
production.
coffee intake, which was honestly starting to become a problem. I've tried other supplements before, but I can safely say there is only one AG1. They're the first I've seen to pack this much nutrition and gut health support into just one scoop.
Gut
So
health
if this sounds like
support?
something you guys might be interested in, you can click the link in the description or use the QR code.
Yeah, you need this to
and you'll get a
soothe your
bottle of
guts
vitamin
because
D3
the
and
stuff you don't
K2,
see
as well as
later is
5
going to
AG1
upset it and
travel
you're going to
packs
puke
free
day
with your
glow.
first subscription.
Why look like condoms? The thing packed look like condoms are in them. Man, that's just me.
Beautiful boy, an account looked after by me, a degree-educated mother choosing to stay anonymous.
What?
This was the bio of the first account pictured in the Reddit post, an account named TruthSticks11, which
Ain't
was
no
said to be
goddamn
operated
truth
by
to
a
it.
12-year-old boy and his mother. Back in October of 2021, the duo would make their very first post, kicking things off on a somewhat concerning note, though not for their own page, but instead another
Abdullah
account on the
Oblongata.
platform.
So, that's the account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
The video
Who
was
fuck is
created and
that?
posted by the mother for the sole purpose of warning others of a specific user.
Oh, a
who had
mother.
been
That
posing
sounds
as
like a
child
guy.
online, when in actuality he was a grown man who did this in order to get close to and exploit other children across the platform.
I sound like a
It's
girl
the grim
too.
reality of this online world, as predators will do just about anything to get closer to children, and it's a reality often unrealized or even ignored by parents, which makes it almost refreshing that this mother was out here trying
Ain't no
to raise
goddamn
awareness.
mother. Didn't sound like
These
one
posts
any
would become
mother.
the crux of the account early on. They would call out this user and their many accounts again and again, eventually going more in depth about what this person would actually do, claiming that they had a strange perversion to dressing up as a young schoolboy. Does he wish he were a young boy in a school classroom, looking nice and being successful at school?
Why
Yes.
the fuck when you want to go to school when you
This
don't
theme
have
of calling
to?
out online predators would remain consistent throughout the years on TruthSticks11. However, after some time, the mother behind the account began to use the page for its initially intended purpose, to share photos of her son. The photos began reasonably normal, and would show this young boy studying at school, accepting awards from their principal, and even school presentations in which their son had attended, with the captions often
As a
boasting
caring,
about how
supportive, loving
intelligent the
mother
young
of
boy
my
was.
son. You ain't no goddamn mother.
Though over
You're a
time, the photos
motherfucker,
began
maybe.
to
Ain't no
grow
goddamn mother.
stranger.
Stranger danger.
They looked off, almost as if they were
They looked
AI
off.
generated.
No
And
shit.
on top of this, they began to appear heavily edited in an almost inexplicable manner, with deep red lipstick often being added, which was enunciated by his face being turned pure white.
Got the
This
Joker
unsettling
gas.
trend would continue from here, as with each passing post, the photos grew less authentic and more surreal.
The Macaulay Culkin. And Macaulay Culkin got bad real quick.
Until they became straight up disturbed, even sickening. These bizarre edits spilled over past just the images too, as the posts began to appear as disjointed collages,
This is a lot
often
to read.
showcasing multiple grotesque images
Holy shit.
and paragraphs about how much this user loved school. And this wasn't the only shift either. At some point, the son behind the account began posting content that allegedly came directly from him,
Yeah, I bet.
saying things like, "My really cool mom asked me if I'd like to post, and I said, yes please." He even
Ain't no
shared
damn
supposed
kid. He ain't
videos
gonna
that
say
he filmed
yes
of
please.
himself,
Who says yes
which
please
were
to a
equally
parent?
as unconvincing as his photos.
Bullshit.
And somehow even more chilling. The boy even shows off his singing in one of the clips.
Ain't no goddamn singing.
Though their voice sounds off.
No shit, it sounds
The
off.
account was overall anomalous and extremely off-putting. And though this content was visually alarming, another aspect made it even more so concerning, as over time, many of the images began to resemble CP, showcasing these fake AI children in explicit positions, with their faces sometimes
Thank you
even
for
being
not showing
photoshopped
that.
onto
I
scantily
may be
dressed
illegal to
adult
do it too,
bodies.
but I don't want.
One thing is blatantly obvious about the TruthSticks account. The supposed child behind it is not real. Even in the more passable photos at the very beginning, there's evidence to suggest that these were likely AI as well. And based on the disturbed, borderline illegal content that this page featured, it seemed more than likely that whoever was behind this page was not an innocent mother concerned for the welfare of
no
her
shit,
children,
I could have
but
told you
instead,
that.
a predatory individual
Just from the sound of the
themselves.
fucking voice.
And this wasn't their only account. The second page featured on the Reddit post belonged to a user named GirlChloe12 and bore a striking similarity.
I wonder about the 18
The
followers.
page was also supposedly run by a child and monitored by their parents. Bizarrely, they also posted frequently about the dangers of online predators, with the wording of these posts and the editing being essentially the exact same as Truth Sticks, just not as over the top. These two accounts even frequently interacted with each other, thus providing a substantial link on its own. But by far the most compelling link between these pages is one that is easy to miss at a glance, with that being a blatant obsession with high-heeled mini boots. These shoes were mentioned or shown in virtually every single post made by these two users. At playtime, I'm sometimes running around with my really cool heeled footwear I wear with my uniform. After coming home from school, education isn't over for the day once the blue blazer, gray jersey, neat tie, white shirt, tailored close-fit gray trousers, and black heeled mini boots are in the wardrobe. No matter what they discussed, school uniforms and mini boots were always a talking point, which adds confirmation to something that is already becoming apparent.
No one in their right mind will wear mini boots.
This is fetish content, not too unlike the bizarre accounts in the Pipergate rabbit hole.
The fuck is
fetish
that?
Content centered around children. And what makes the Chloe account so disturbing is that AI was seemingly not used, and rather the images seem to be of actual children. Despite this disturbing distinction, these two accounts are cut from the same cloth, and all signs point to them being created by the same person. A person who, despite their constant warnings of the dangers of adults pretending to be children online, seems to be doing the exact same thing, as part of some sort of fetish, the extent of which we'll discuss later. But for now, one thing was for certain. These pages were not run by children, or their parents.
No shit.
So, who created them?
The devil?
Well, that brings us to our third and final account.
Fucking hellspawn, meth head, crackhead. Oh, great.
smartschoolboy9 was much the same as the other
What
two
happened to the
accounts.
other 8?
They warned of online predators, obsessed over high-heeled mini boots and school uniforms, and posed as a child despite clearly not being one. But Smart Schoolboy was different in one key aspect. The person behind the account was pretending to be a child, but they were doing so in a much more apparent manner, as they didn't use AI or stolen images of other kids to form their identity, and instead, they used photos of themselves.
This is a grown-ass man.
In the images posted on the account, we see what appears to be a fully grown man, dressed in a schoolboy's uniform. His face is painted pure white and has bright red lipstick, and he's, of course, wearing high
And he's a fat
heeled
fuck.
boots, characteristics that were all utilized across the other accounts. Only
Maybe
this time,
be
it was
busy
done
on a
by
goddamn
himself,
treadmill
as he
instead of
poses
doing
as a
this
child,
shit.
pretending to go to school, as well as pretending to go through other life events common for preteens. And the photos aren't even the most disturbing part, as the account consists primarily of videos.
People like this.
Hey, let me know if you like school as well.
The videos are all incredibly off-putting. Some show him arriving home from school.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. School.
Others show him claiming to be on the bus heading toward school.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm on the school bus.
And other videos showing him doing whatever this is. With these strange sounds and the process of sticking his tongue out appearing to be part of his fetish. As much like the other accounts, his content is overtly sexual, in its own bizarre way.
Just nobody would ever want to fuck him in real life.
In fact, there's a video of him with his full outfit on, where he shows himself staring into a mirror as he appears to pleasure himself, right out of view of the camera, as he stares into his own eyes.
Because no one else would want to touch the motherfucker.
This account is by far the most sickening part of this whole rabbit hole, and also the most important. Interspersed throughout his page are a few examples of what this individual's voice sounds like.
This is quite good.
which just so happens to be the same voice heard in the very first clip shown on the Truth Sticks account.
A man.
Yep.
Pretending to be a boy.
Meaning that this full-grown adult man is the one behind this entire rabbit hole. He's the one on these accounts pretending to be a child and their mother, getting some sort of sick satisfaction from
Put your
whatever
tongue
this
back in
is.
your
And the
fucking
worst part
mouth
is,
before I
these
put my
activities
fist
aren't just
in it.
kept behind closed doors. As we can see on numerous occasions, videos of him walking around outside in a public space with his full outfit and
There's
face
Leatherface.
on.
There's fucking Leatherface.
Look at me.
Okay, if anyone saw this in real life,
It's truly one of the strangest things that I've ever seen, and making sense of what
Sniper
this all is
rifle.
extremely difficult. But based
So
on
I'll
the
say
information
sniper
found
rifle.
from this first Reddit post, a few likely conclusions can be put forward. This man is clearly attracted to the idea of being a kid, and I think OP was correct when they speculated that this was some sort of
well,
age
then you
break.
could.
But it's also clearly
If he
much
wants to
more
be a
than that,
kid,
too.
you know what
As
happens
based
to
on the
some
images
kids?
that he's
It's called
created
abortion.
himself, he clearly has some sort of attraction to other children as well, as he's quite literally created faux CP, the likes of which is so disturbing that I can't even really describe it here either.
I don't
He's
want
creating
you.
fetish
I don't want you to
content,
describe
and he's
it.
using the likeness of children, and also some children that are clearly very real people, to do so. That much is obvious. But there was also the possibility that he was pretending to be a kid in order to exploit other children across the internet. At this point, though, this was merely speculation, with much of the smartschoolboy9 case remaining a mystery, and the rabbit hole was only getting deeper from here.
Great.
Months after this rabbit hole was introduced to the online world, the story began to be shared all across the internet, most notably on the r/internet mysteries subreddit, where the case really took off. There, internet sleuths began uncovering just how vast this web of accounts actually was, as it wasn't just these 3 pages. No, there seemed to be over a dozen, and likely even more that we still haven't found,
Right.
as he's created his own sort of community, his own little world, where across each page he pretends to be
Jesus
a child,
Christ.
with these accounts typically following each other and frequently interacting, seemingly to make these characters appear as though they have real friends. On one of
I ain't
these
got no
pages,
goddamn
12
friends.
Stockwell Joanne, he poses as a 14-year-old girl, using more AI images to depict explicit positions of this manufactured child, which I obviously am not going to show here. Though much like his Chloe account, he also shows images of very real young girls. But this isn't the most concerning part of this account, as on numerous occasions, he's shown images of children at a playground.
I'm
which he
getting
may have
angry.
done himself. This fantasy of being a schoolgirl and taking part in these
getting
school-centric
pissed.
activities is something carried over throughout multiple of his accounts, with his most common alias being Stephanie, of which he has numerous different accounts featuring that same name.
Yeah, I'm Stephanie.
Yeah,
This
and
Stephanie
I'm
character claims to
the
be a
Grim
12-year-old
fucking Reaper.
aspiring poet, with accounts all across the internet, many of which showcasing examples of her poetry, which carries on those same distinct sexual undertones. I race to complete my poems when I've got an early start. Heart racing, mixed rhythms, maximizing miracles, rice with rap, and on the map. My Kennington, London syllables. Dancing though I know my underwear might show if I lean forward. Good. Stephanie Stansfield, 12. But digging even deeper, her poetry has even seemingly been featured in various articles and even newspapers, showcasing that this rabbit hole extends far past just the online world.
Jesus Christ.
This act is clearly their obsession, and he's been doing this for years, with the earliest examples that I could find coming from all the way back in 2018. And this Stephanie character seems to be his go-to alias, embodying it in even the literal sense.
Yeah. Stick your dick up your ass then. Go fuck yourself, buddy.
As in one of his many pages dedicated to this Stephanie character, he dresses as her, wearing a wig and a dress, as he pretends to be a 12-year-old girl. Almost immediately after this case began gaining traction, the true magnitude of this rabbit hole was revealed. Across every single account are countless depraved posts and oddities that all could warrant discussion, but by far the most important discoveries were those that didn't actually occur on his own page, and rather the pages of other actual children. Do you like school? I do. It is good. You have some cool shirts, but I have to wear school uniforms to school. It is nice, but casual isn't allowed, and it's quite hot here in the UK, as the month of June suddenly got warmer. these are two examples out of many that show smartschoolboy9 reaching out and attempting to befriend young children online. In one comment, he even warns a child about other comments from bad people, stating that, "It happens to most boys in our age group, but stay safe, stay cool, don't be dismayed by creeps." This is our best evidence that these accounts weren't just made
not
for age
dismayed,
play.
but whatever.
No, he's actually posing as a child
It's
in order to
different
make friends with other
dissuaded,
children.
not
And given
dismayed.
his overtly sexual interests and aversion to CP, it's not hard to gather why he was doing this.
CP is child.
And these examples are only what we found so far. It's possible that there are dozens or who knows, maybe even hundreds of other comments out there, hidden on unknown children's accounts. This is predatory behavior.
Yeah,
The man
yeah, a
behind
bit predatory, a
Schoolboy9
little
is
bit.
a predator. And in case there was still any doubt of whether or not this was a sexual thing, here's what he had to say about being
Yeah,
a
you can't
13-year-old
still in
girl.
class just amnestia.
But how
And
his
I'm going to do a
tactics
lot
actually
of
worked.
things to...
Well, the frightening thing is, no one knows if he's actually been successful or not, or even what specifically he's looking for. We just know that he's trying to reach kids, as evidenced not only by his comments, but by the fact that he's solely following children on all of these pages. And though it's easy to look at these accounts and know that something is off, for children, it's not that simple, especially when there's pages showcasing photos of actual kids. Which brings up another frightening detail. Many of the images he's used of children have not been traced back to their original creator, and some seem to appear for the very first time online publicly on this man's pages, which might mean that he was sent them privately. There's even one image that David posted on his schoolboy account, which shows another kid that he claimed to be on a playdate with, though it's impossible to say if this is real or not. For now, we just don't know for sure. Though given the fact that he's reaching out to children, posting fetish content centered around children, and has even potentially photographed kids in the wild, one thing is for certain: smartschoolboy9 needs to be stopped.
Yeah. Unmasked. Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my friend Fabio, and I'm going to send
priority for those investigating
Fabio
the case.
to this guy,
And luckily, he left several
and
glaring
I'm
clues
going to have
behind
fun
that made
watching
this
what
process
happens,
a whole lot
because trust
easier.
me,
On numerous occasions across his many pages,
there's going to be a
he would
lot of
post images and
entertainment, I'll
videos
tell
of
you that.
specific locations,
My friend
even
Fabio,
showing streets and mentioning very particular areas.
do you
in
have
his
him 20
poems,
minutes with this guy?
all of which centered around the London area, immediately
Gonna be
giving
a
us an idea
lot
of
of
where
fun.
he was located. And that
A
wasn't
lot
all.
of fun, I'll
I
say
mentioned how
that.
the alias of Stephanie was one that he used more so than any other. But what's
yeah.
interesting is that there was another
I'll
name
put it that
used
way.
just as often across his accounts, brought up time and time again, though it's a name that he never seemed to call any of his characters. Instead, he simply referred to this person as a stepbrother, or a father, or even a friend from school, despite never actually picturing him, just mentioning his name. David. And sure
Boys.
enough, after connecting a few dots, it would be revealed that this person's actual name was in fact David. David Alter. With
Yeah,
a man
altered
being
fucking
59
states.
years old. At the moment, it doesn't appear that David has any past criminal convictions or documented history.
That
of his
doesn't mean
behavior.
anything.
But we do know that thanks to the investigation done on Reddit and Discord, he is currently being investigated by local authorities, which will hopefully put an end to his online behavior and shine some more light on who this person actually is.
Mean
As
nothing.
for the time being, the only other information that we really know about David is that he likes to write poetry and he makes music.
So did Charles Manson.
I think I hear a running tram going back in time, not out of time. I think I like a little lemon and lime. Say Marianne, hey Steely Dan. I like the sound of that running tram.
Great, his music is
And
shit.
his name also appears in a random newspaper, where he's discussing the importance of kids wearing school uniforms. And that's really
I
all we
love
have
them
at the
school
moment.
uniforms.
Though there is one very important aspect that we have yet to talk about in relation to this man, with that being David's mental state. Some believe that David is a mentally unwell individual who potentially doesn't know the extent of what they
I
are
don't
doing.
care if he
Now,
doesn't
even if
know.
this is the case, his behavior still needs to be
I
stopped.
don't care if
and
he
needs to
doesn't
be
know.
given
I don't
proper
care if he
help
lives
to
in the
ensure that no
Twilight
one
Zone.
else
I
gets
don't
hurt
care if
by
he's
his actions.
possessed.
But it
I
is
don't care
important
if
to note
he...
that David is far more intelligent than
I
he
don't
lets
care.
on, as his personal accounts show us that he is fairly well-spoken and articulate. And throughout his problematic content, most of his bad grammar and strange verbiage seems to be his attempts at more authentically trying to replicate a child. But it's impossible to know for sure. But what we do know is that David is extremely manipulative, with his response to this situation and other clues littered across his accounts showing us that he seems to know what he's doing. and he knows that it's wrong.
Oh,
Since
yeah,
the
response
exposure
for
of
you.
David's accounts, he hasn't silently slithered away like most other predators would. Instead, he's actually responded on more than a few occasions, lashing out to those who have
Don't
DM'd
respond to
him,
me,
calling them the perverts
motherfucker.
and
Don't you
predators.
respond to me.
He even left a comment on his Joanne account,
Do
seemingly
not even
directed
try to
at
respond to me,
himself,
man. You're
writing,
not gonna
"You
like
are really
it.
sad. And if that's your name, David, be honest with yourself. You're 50, as you said elsewhere. You reply to me, a girl, as if I'm your buddy? No chance ever." This is something David does all the time. It's projection. And it started all the way back at the beginning of this rabbit hole.
Damn, Macaulay
So,
Culkin.
that's the account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
And he continued posting these predator exposés, along with other warnings about predators on the internet across every
'Cause he
page
is
made,
one.
each of which being hyper-specific to his own predatory ways and fetishes. The things he accuses others of are blatant projections of his own dark vices. And I can think of two reasons why. Number one, that this makes his account look safer to other parents and children. It gives the appearance that he's
Hold
not
your
another
bottom
internet
lip, put it
creep,
right,
because he's
swallow
actively
your
calling them
fucking
out.
head.
It's a way to build trust in order to befriend and exploit kids. And number two, he knows what he's doing is wrong. And this is his bizarre way of self-reporting, probably to make himself feel better about what he's doing. And it's obvious based on just how accurate these claims against others are to him. Does he wish he were a young boy in a school classroom, looking nice and being successful at school? Yes. And these claims are made over and over again, as each time he calls someone out, he's further exposing himself. Which becomes more concerning when you realize that these projections seemingly aren't strictly pedophilic. Within those eerily familiar expose posts he made on TruthSticks11, he mentions how this user not only wanted to exploit children online, but they wanted to kill them as well. As he mentions that this user has a clear interest in cannibalizing
Big
kids,
surprise.
and even performing ritualistic sacrifices on
Big
them.
surprise.
And based on how accurate all of the other exposures are to himself, I have no reason to believe that this isn't part of his MO as well, as crazy as that may sound. This also seems to
As
coincide
crazy as it
with some of the
sounds,
content
have we
he's
seen
posted
the
that I
last
can't
20
show you,
minutes?
as some of these photos show children edited in
He's doing
contorted
all that.
positions,
He's
including
crazy
some where
as can
he's
be.
added what appears to be rope to give the illusion that they're tied up. And what makes this even more disturbing is that on his accounts, he's posted numerous photos in the vicinity of schools, on nearby secluded trails, and even some where he discusses what time school starts and ends, saying that he likes to be awake and ready for it. There's even photos that show other children outside from a distance, almost as if David was stalking them. This is highly concerning. Even if we don't know truly how low this man's perversions get, he is still far too close to children, which is perfectly encapsulated by this photo of him on a school playground during the day. And with his disturbing desires, I don't even want to imagine what he's capable of. Which brings us to the final piece of content that I need to talk about. Chasing another boy running in heeled mini boots. This was the text shown on screen during a short video posted onto one of David's many accounts. And in the video, we see the man pointing the camera at himself, showing his full face of white makeup and red lipstick. This video is edited more egregiously than any others I've seen across his page, with multiple explicit images and huge emojis covering the majority of the screen. Though just barely enough of the footage can be seen that shows David as he turns the camera around, revealing a young boy. Who he then proceeds to chase after, giggling all the while. Whether this was an edited video or a real occurrence, we don't currently know. David's doings are a mystery that will take some time to unravel, and my hope is that law enforcement will be able to follow through and help shed some more light on this individual, and finally put an end to his twisted behavior. But at this point, only one thing is for sure. The story of smartschoolboy9 is far from over.
Like, they see the videos and they see his face, like, what more is there to fucking... I got a fucking headache. I swear to God, I do. This stuff makes me so angry. It makes me so aggravated. It makes me so fucking pissed. So fucking pissed. So aggravated. So angry. So fucking... I feel like I want to claw my fucking brain on my goddamn head. I tell you one thing, well, there's a lot of things I could tell you, but YouTube won't allow me to say it. There's a lot of dark thoughts in my head, and I'm not allowed to say it on YouTube. I don't know what to say. Pissed off, angry, upset. Fuck this motherfucker. Fuck this motherfucker. I just... I got nothing. Well, apparently a lot of people have showed the footage, so I'll show the footage. But yeah, yeah. You know, sometimes I wonder, maybe AI should take over. Maybe AI should take over. You know, this is what society breeds. If this is what society comes up with. I'm gonna be like Joe Pantoliano. I'm gonna be like Joey Pants in The Matrix. I'm gonna just eat my steak and be like, I know it's not real. I'm just gonna enjoy it. And you let you all motherfuckers deal with it. Later.